Hey everyone, and welcome back to YAFTV. It is Sunday. Glad to be with you on a Sunday, February 12th. And this show today is going to be my monthly C60 Evo show with Patty Greer, the co-founder of C60 Evo. And once a month, I like to come in, talk with my sponsors about the product C60 Evo, which, as we know on this channel, is my giveaway every month, and I give 10% off to viewers, 15% off to people who support the channel. And with this, before Valentine's Day coming up, and also February being Heart Health Month, I wanted to talk about the heart, talk about C60 Evo, ESS60, why it's so good for the heart, why they're going after our hearts, and what my experience of it was with my own heart health, and also to offer people who want to make purchases of C60 Evo by midnight Hawaii time on February 14th, Valentine's Day, 2 days from now, will get put into the C60 Evo giveaway election that we do every month. So I'm excited about that. So I'm going to bring in Patty now. She's the co-founder of C60 Evo.
Hello.
Hi, Patty. Welcome.
Thank you.
Good to see you again.
And you.
Yeah, happy Valentine's Day coming up.
Oh, man. Time to remember that we have a heart that pumps beautiful blood through our bodies.
Absolutely, absolutely. And so for folks that don't remember or haven't seen my shows with Patty before, Patty co-founded C60 Evo, and she designs a lot of the products, especially all of the facial care and skincare products, hair care, and all kinds of care that C60 in its very versatile molecule way is able to be a part of multiple pathways to health. And so Patty, how would you, I wanted to talk about the heart today, and I told you that, coming in here with February and Heart Health Month, the intense assault on our hearts, and also the basically us awakening and opening our hearts, really, and how Carbon 60, ESS 60, C60 Evo, the specific product, really helps with heart health. And I was wondering if you wanted to talk about that, and if you wanted to describe C60. My simple thing here is that it is a 60 atom molecule, the miracle molecule that's shaped like a soccer ball and is able to cross the blood-brain barrier and get into your mitochondria, which no other antioxidants that we know of can do on that level. So I'll let you jump in now and start out with how you'd like to introduce things here.
Well, thank you. Good start. The molecule is so small that it can get into places that vitamin C can't, which is a great trick when it comes to immunity. Plus, it's been tested to be between 125 times as potent to 172 times as potent as vitamin C. So when you combine that with able to get into everywhere in your body that vitamin C can't, you've got a mega antioxidant. And we encourage people to start your morning with it. The coconut is divine in my morning coffee. I think anybody that does coffee or tea, you add a teaspoon or a tablespoon, like I do, of this, and you're going to love your coffee even more. And start your day with a wonderful, smooth energy buzz. For myself, I have found that I went through such devastating health situations caused by humans that my heart was starting to pump um, unevenly. And so I doubled up my ESS 60 and it's gone away. I haven't even thought about that until Free mentioned, let's focus on the heart today. And, as we watch the news, we're seeing 20, 30-year-olds fall over suddenly because they're running on a field in front of millions of people and cameras. There's too many happening now to not realize there's some strange assault on our hearts. And when it comes to the ESS 60 miracle molecule, we've got a really great gift here. And I'm not the scientist. I'm not going to pretend to be. What I know is my heart is pumping evenly now, and my breath has returned to a peaceful flow. And I think that that's what we need more than anything.
Mhm. Beautifully said. I agree. And well, so we know with the myocarditis, with the pericarditis, with the jabs, that people are having massive inflammation on their hearts. That is the pandemic level of what is happening out there, caused, of course, by these shots. And with because inflammation in the heart is really a cell dependent kind of condition, and it has to do with all the garbage, the oxidative stress on the heart, and the inflammation that can happen within and around the heart. What you find with such a powerful antioxidant, such as carbon 60, that can get right into the mitochondria and the cells, with glutathione and melatonin, cleaning out that garbage and able to really just flush it out of the body. It stays in the body for about 10 days, Chris says, the chief scientist there at C60 Evo. And so it does the work and keeps coming back to keep doing the work. And I think it's so important, that we acknowledge how the attack on the heart is happening and why that would be so, as they want to really, I believe, disconnect us from each other. We know there is a heart resonance. The Heart Math Institute has, and I'll link that below for people to look at if you're not familiar, has shown that we as humans, our hearts connect. And especially when we're in prayer or meditation, that your heart's giving off an electrical signal. It is the primary ways that our physical beings are connected with each other and our spiritual beings are communicating with each other. And would it be any coincidence that the necrophilic cartel trying to harm everyone and kill billions of people would go after that way of communicating that we have with each other? And so I think on Heart Month here, and as we are wanting to help people help their hearts, I wanted to focus on that, and also to talk about myself here for a second. When I started taking the Evo, I've taken other kinds of C60 in the past. When I started taking the Evo, I had I'm going to just put myself full here for a second. I had been through some really intense illnesses in the last year to do with the crud, and I had also gone through a lot of emotional stress and some just heartache, emotional heartache, and spiritual heartache. And I did find getting back on, not back on, starting C60 Evo and the ESS 60 specifically, made in this state-of-the-art lab there in Texas. I felt a heart opening, and I felt a wellness again and a clarity of spirit again that had been damaged and I was needing to rebuild. And this product helped me enormously. And again, I'm always a giant fan of the caps. I love the liquids too, but the capsules really resonate for me with my for whatever reason, they just digest really well with me. And so I wanted to share that with you because I think that there's an absolute correlation between a physical attack on the heart, the energetic attack on the electrical system of the heart, the people dying suddenly from these heart attacks and strokes, and the incredible need for us to heal our hearts and to pay attention to our cardiovascular health right away, not in the future, and to promote all the things we can do to make our hearts function well, but also be energetically well. And I found in my own experience that also my actual physical heart is stronger, and I have much more stamina. I have much more clarity of thinking, and I also have a much more ability to love and also to let go. And that sounds like a tall order, but I really went through a lot in these last few years with everything going down with the government attacks, and so much of that has been healing much more rapidly since I've been on the ESS 60. And so I wanted to share that, and we'll come back to you, Patty, so we can hear your 2 cents on that.
I love your flow of coming back to life with the C60 Evo. And I just want to specify what ESS 60 is. It's not C60 generically, but we've sold in our lab C60 for 31 years to research institutions around the world. But we did it for industrial grade purposes like batteries, solar cells, tires, ink. That's what carbon-60 has been used for decades. And then all of a sudden, we realized from the 2012 Paris Bhakti study on toxicity that C60 isn't toxic. But again, I'm only speaking from our lab, SES Research, that makes all of our products. I never speak for any other labs, if there are any. I know there's a lot of basements and garages making C60. And again, you got to be careful when it's not ESS 60, because the difference is industrial grade for tires, ink, solar cells, and the ESS 60 that's only made at our lab for the purpose of healing humans and pets. And we can't say the word heal, so assisting in the healing of people's immunity, flexibility, longevity. Now, this toxicity test they thought was going to kill the Wistar rats that were 3 different groups. The first group was fed only water, sorry. The second group was fed water and olive oil. And the third group was fed the ESS 60 from our lab that's in her capsules and in our bottles of oil. And those rats didn't die. They lived 90% longer, which turned out to be the longest longevity test in lab rat history. And they also died without tumors, which was historic. Now, this is a huge statement, and we're not saying we're healing or curing the big C, but I will say that testimonials from medical clinics that are dealing with 4th stage C, the bad disease that's caused by who knows what, humans, turns out that 5 different clinics are using C60 Evo as daily protocol. And I only know this because when people buy cases after cases from us, I'll contact them and say, hi, how are you selling so much? Because I want to know. My part of the company is not the science or the mixing or the shipping, but it's the product evolution, creating new products. And to be honest, easiest thing I've ever done, because ESS 60 can cure anything. I haven't found anything it doesn't fix, including the hair return. Like, what? There's nothing it doesn't cure when you get the good stuff. And what is ESS 60 compared to carbon 60? Carbon 60, we've made it 31 years. We still sell it, but not for people selling to humans. My lab has actually my partner's lab has actually turned down money from people saying, yeah, we want the cheap stuff because, and they say, no, we're not giving you industrial grade. We don't want your money unless you buy the good stuff for humans, because we are responsible and we know the difference. So there's a difference there. And the difference is the cleaning process. The ESS 60 doesn't have solvents, doesn't have questionable anything, and every bottle that leaves our lab, no matter what flavor, is tested in an HPLC machine to see the concentration levels. That's high performance liquid chromatography, and you can't trick it. It's a machine that reads quantity of quality of the carbon 60 molecule in your product. And at the top of the illness across the world, we tested 22 online products, all the different companies, people that consider themselves competitors. Of course, we respect them, and we want to know that they're not going to hurt the industry. And after weeks of testing 22 different products in the HPLC machine, we found that they were woefully low. And the number one, people say our competitor, which whatever, they had 10 to 30% of what their label claimed. So you can spend all you want promoting and whatever, but when it comes down to how do I feel when I take the product, if you've got a product like this, it's got 0.86 milligrams per milliliters in every batch because we test it. The others had 30% of that, which made us sad because we want the industry to be integral. So ESS 60 is elemental safe spheres with 60 carbon atoms. So the word safe is really important. Spheres, because it's shaped like a soccer ball with 60 carbon atoms. Perfect miracle molecule, and it received the Nobel Prize in the 90s because of it.
Wow. So that's important. Equality certainly is important. And what I really, what sets me at ease with your company and your partner's lab is that it is such an incredible, high quality lab, one of the top in the world, and certainly in the United States. And so it really, like you said, you get what you're paying for, and it's stable and it's continuous and it doesn't change. And we also wanted folks to know that in the concentrations, if you're looking for the most concentration of the ESS 60, you would want to buy the organic olive oil.
Yes.
And then it goes down to avocado having the second highest concentration, and then the MCT coconut oil, the lowest concentration, but in an MCT oil. So having a kind of different um, effect of what it does, being in the MCT oil, people like to train with it. Chris was saying in our last interview that he has a long distance marathon runner friend who trains really hard, running thousands of miles, an insane amount, and uses that CMT oil, and he called it the Wolverine of recovery because he was just feeling so incredibly well while training so hard. And I think that that's also really important when we're talking about the heart here. And I'm wondering the connection that could be there when we're talking about inflammation. And we are scientifically allowed to say specifically on this channel that it does that the ESS 60 C60 Evo does repair inflammation damage and from exercise, right? And when we look at all these young people dropping, okay, and for me, I wonder a lot about the 5G involvement with this in the stadiums because we know that that's hugely been the rollout of the 5 and 6G systems in these stadiums where we're seeing a lot of this dropping dead happen, and in the homes and the spread of the electromagnetics that are really damaging our own natural electrical outputs. And when we look at things like what I was mentioning with the MCT oil and the repairing of inflammation from heavy exercise, it makes me I'd like to hear more of that from people who use the products and get your feedback about what you're finding. And I'm wondering and would like to ask Chris this in our next interview, what his opinion of would be of the performance of the heart and the anti-inflammatory effects of during exercise, because it's during exercise, what Judy Mikovits would say, the maximum output of your ATP, of your cellular energy, when you're driving yourself really hard during sports, is when these people tend to collapse, unless they have other comorbidities in already heart disease that they might or might not know about, that this exacerbates, and how the ESS 60 can be used to combat that. For me, I really want people to survive this attempted mass genocide that's happening, and they're hitting our hearts because that is seriously the key, I think, to just shutting down our intercommunication with each other, both on a spiritual, cellular, and heart resonance level. Our daily isolation, wanting us to hide from each other instead of being open-hearted. And of course, if you attack the heart and the cardiovascular system, as we know, it's already the leading cause of death. And so it's a quick pick-off system. And so, for me in this, while we're looking at this Heart Health Month and Valentine's Day and what it means to love and to open your heart, I wanted to just reiterate a few things I use. So I use the C60 Evo caps, okay, for my heart health. And there are other things I do. Part is meditation and prayer is huge. Another part is challenging myself not to isolate and to be out in community and with people and to let people into my life. And then there's things like healthy fats, and enough protein. They say half your body weight in grams of protein per day, healthy protein with healthy fats like these organic oils that are in the C60 Evo products. Okay. And feeding your heart, feeding your brain with these very, very important nutrients that come from proteins and from whole healthy proteins, not something made into a sports bar, but something from a true animal or very healthy vegetable source that isn't processed. And enough fats is massively important. And then I also always like to tell people when I'm talking about the heart, the incredible system put out there by Stephen Sinatra that's called the Awesome Foursome. And for people who are dealing with severe heart disease or heart failure, this is a great intervention that I get the book right away. And the four nutrients that go in with that are L-carnitine, CoQ10 as ubiquinone, ribose, and then a really good quality magnesium like magnesium glycinate that will go more towards the tissues and less towards your intestinal flushing out. So those are the four. So those are the things I do for heart health. And I have heart disease in my family, and so I'm aware of this. And so as a preventative, again, in the flushing out of the oxidative stress that has to do with cellular degenerative diseases like heart disease, this is the biggest free radical sponge that you can get on the market to gather up all that garbage, because aging is basically the process of oxidative stress taking over our bodies until it tips the scale towards disease, right? And so we want to flush out that garbage, and C60 Evo, ESS60, most powerful antioxidant that lasts in the body the longest that we know of. So I'll come back to you now, Patty, after my monologue there, talking about our hearts. And so I wanted to, I think it's really amazing what you talked about around the, you can't say it, but I can say the word cancer on this show, but I won't say it too often. But as we, these are all degenerative diseases, right? And they're all cellular dependent, right? And when we're looking at the damage to DNA, the damage to mitochondria, why they're using the synthetic mRNA to pollute our DNA, to create new proteins that create all this garbage in the cells. And now you are seeing that you now know of multiple clinics using C60 Evo specifically treating forms of that disease. And so I'm just reiterating that. And I think it's incredible. It's incredible and so important, because really most all chronic disease pretty much comes from the same issue, which is the attack on our cells by pollution. Okay, whether that is caused by iatrogenic doctor-driven pollution into our bodies, or the geoengineering raining down on us from our skies, or dirty electrics and electronics feeding that radiation towards us. And so that's why, again, this is such an important product. And so I wanted to just see what you'd like to move towards now. We'll probably do maybe another 5 minutes or so and keep this kind of short for people on a Sunday, just a nice thing to watch on a Sunday afternoon as we move towards Valentine's Day, and consider what it means to be open-hearted and open to love.
Well, I appreciate you. It's so nice to have you back in my life, and you warm my heart. Every conversation, sometimes you surprise me with a phone call, and that warms my heart. So when I look at what in my life warms my heart, it's friends, it's family, it's sweet music, it's chocolate. There's so many things that make you feel good. And the Evo, some people would say, oh, when I take it on my spoon, I let the dogs lick my spoon because the Evo helps their dogs. Like old dogs learn new tricks, and old cats that are lethargic and in a corner are starting to run around again. So for me, I don't have a dog or a cat to lick my spoon. So I would take my finger and slide the oil and rub it on my face. I did 50,000 miles on a big ass Harley, and no helmet, no windshield. And my skin was like, whoa, warrior queen. And, I look in the mirror and go, yeah, well, I've had some fun. And so I started putting the oil on my face that was on my spoon. If I spilled on the way to my mouth, I'd like wipe it off the kitchen counter and rub it on my skin. And all of a sudden my skin started anti-aging. And I thought, whoa, what? So now, I just take my bottle and put it in the palm of my hand and rub it on. And I called the guys at the lab and I said, I don't know about you, but my skin is getting better. I take it on the inside every day, first thing in the morning. I do my coffee because I can't move without morning coffee. But then I hit the Evo and I am ready. And everybody that calls me before noon says, why are you so fired up? And it's like, Evo, coffee is nice, but Evo kicks butt. So I do want to say that there is a mental component that I find just as important as heart health is mind strength and emotional mental focus. And as we move into this losing friends, losing family, watching TV, watching newscasters, and we can't talk about it. So, oh, what a mystery. But the only way to combat it is your own consciousness. And taking C60 Evo inside and on the out, all of a sudden now we're getting less radiation when we're putting it on our skin. So the guys at the lab are like, facial serum, please. And then all of a sudden, facial serum. And they designed this gorgeous box. Like they really loved it.
What?
Right? What a gift. It slides out of this really sweet box and says revive, replenish, rejuvenate. It is 21 natural, organic, vegan ingredients. And the base is chia seed oil. Who knew? Chia seed oil, fabulous for skin. And I started with Brigitte Mars, an herbalist. So we really went for pure, clean, wonderful facial serum, and everybody that tries it loves it. I've gotten so many testimonials that say the very first morning my skin was plumper. What is this? And it has the essence of rosemary oil that is so divine that when you put it on at night, energetically, rosemary oil takes you into a deeper, sweeter dream state. And they all come with the little instructions so you know how to do it. Well, the guys found that the Evo was helping skin so much that they started experimenting with peptides and came up with another facial serum for older people or, skin that needs more help. And this is a gel, gorgeous copper peptide mixed with an activator. And this is another facial serum that we came up with at the end of last year, along with a 2-part serum. And it's only because we're listening to you. What is going on with people with this thing we're going through? How many of you lost your hair? I did, like weeks after going through the flu thing. And I didn't get any of the things in the arm, but the flu thing made a lot of people lose their hair. And I'm looking at the drain of my shower going, what is that? It was my hair. My hairbrush. What is that? So here we go. We've got a 2-part peptide, an activator, hair serum. It took me 3 weeks. I haven't lost hardly any hair. So whatever the guys at the lab did, I just said, please do this. And they did it. And it kicks butt. It is bringing people's hair back. Even Michael Jaco, who's been bald for 50 years, he called it fuzz. I call it baby hair. But a bald guy for 50 years, all of a sudden he's getting his hair back. His mustache that's silver is going black. His chest hair is going black that was gray. And all I know is testimonials. I don't make claims because the FDA doesn't give us permission to, but I can repeat testimonials because you guys rock. You Are Free definitely is a testimonial because she promotes us every day. And she doesn't promote things she doesn't believe in. So I am deeply honored that you are working with Evo because we're doing it right. And in this day of fake science and fake doctors and fake social media and everything, if we don't have a solid mind, we're going to be spinning in the vortex of crazy. So for that reason, I got myself the really big bottle. And this is a 32-ounce bottle, either for people that want a tablespoon or 2 a day, hardcore, awesome. You were talking about exercise. Smart people that use our product take it before their workout, and they say it gets the body lubricated like an old car. You put good oil in and you drive it 1,000 miles, it's going to be chuck, 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 chuck. But if you don't put the good oil in, it might be in this era. And I live in a gorgeous mountain town that has been hit with brand new cell towers. Thank you, China. And we've also been hit with Rejuva, which is Roundup with a new name because Roundup's illegal. And they're dumping it from helicopters because they can. And now we've got these beautiful machines that are cloud seeding from the earth because chemtrail planes are too expensive. They're doing it here in Boulder, Colorado. Oh, thank you, City Council. You guys are so. Anyway, one more sip should quiet me down. But my heart is constantly tested by humans acting stupid. And I love everyone, but I have very little patience for stuck on stupid now because we've been fooled, we've been tricked, and we don't need to continue it. Consciousness has never been more important. And that's why shows like You Are Free TV are so important. You know, we just, there's congressional hearings that everybody can be watching. I'm hooked because I don't want to know perceptions and, you know, lies. And I want to know what's actually happening. And I think that the Evo really keeps me on top of things because my health has been tested more than anybody I know. And I'm still here and I'm truly smiling from my heart because I know that my company is selling the best C60 Evo, the best ESS60 on earth. And I had a choice. I could have worked with anyone once I was convinced that C60, carbon 60, was a real thing that could help me because I could barely walk after a human interaction with, you know, evil. And then a few years later, somebody put uranium in my garage to test my health again. And I wasn't sure I'd make it. I've been through so much. And that's when I partnered with Chris and Robert at the SES Research Lab. I figured, you know what, if I, with all this intuition, fell into these two traps and I didn't see people that I thought were friends that had total cold heart, who would sell their mother for, you know, money. All of a sudden, I realized I want to work with the big guys, the real scientists, the real lab. And it is the only lab in the world that's been making carbon 60 for 31 years. You said maybe the best in America. We're the only one in America making ESS 60. And we're the only one in the world that's been making it for 31 years, the carbon 60. Chris said that Russia and Czechoslovakia, maybe Canada, had a C60 company back when they started in the 90s, but they all failed. SES Research, our lab, is the only one that's been around forever, and we're also the only one that's raised the bar from industrial grade to human and pet C60, ESS 60, which is so exceptional. And now we've got it for hair, face, body, and the 3 different oils you mentioned. We have 5 different sizes. But I recommend that people try what we call the sampler set because you get all 3 flavors and then you'll know what works for you because everybody resonates with a different level of concentration. So the MCT coconut, 0.35 milligrams per milliliters. I'm used to the olive oil. So when I put this in my coffee, 2 tablespoons, not 1, 2. And then I've got almost as much. The avocado oil is 0.6, whereas the MCT olive is 0.8 to 0.86. And that's why this is my bad boy go-to every day. And it's why we only do the capsules in the olive oil because you won't find 0.86 milligrams per milliliters, I don't think, in any other product other than coming straight out of our lab, manufactured, mixed, blended, and packaged. Then you're going to get what you pay for. So it's about intuition. It's about trusting your mind and your heart. For me, that's what it is for me, is being able to put yourself in a place of mental stability and heart health combined.
Yeah, it's so important. The what you're talking about there, the synthesis of heart, mind, and spirit, right? And so I appreciate all the plug you just did there and describing all the products, and I would agree that they're all excellent, and I've tried them all. And my regular regimen is the capsules, as you know, but I also do the liquids. I'll do the liquids later in the day. I do the capsules in the morning, and I use the serum every morning when I get out of the shower. I'm a big fan, and it feels beautiful when you put it on your skin. You instantly feel this tingling, and you feel that rosemary. It smells beautiful, and it's calming. And of course, rosemary really helps your memory. It's very an incredible, one of the biggest phytonutrients you can have for your memory, and that's probably why it helps those dreams so well when you put it on before bed. But I think we're going to round it up here, and I wanted to just thank you, Patty, and just wish you a very happy Valentine's Day. Whether however we celebrate it, it's just to celebrate love. And for me, I'm not a cynical person when it comes to holidays. I feel like they can unify us in a way, and if we can raise our vibration around it and use it for giving out love to the world, out to humanity, love to ourselves, do something special for yourself, and of course the people you love, show them that love. And part of that can be getting them a bottle of C60 Evo and caring about their heart health. So we're going to leave it there. I hope you have a wonderful Valentine's Day. And again, to let folks know, if you do purchase C60 Evo with You Are Free TV, here's the ticker below. So it's, in case you're only listening, c60evo.com/YAFTV. Use the code YAFTV and you'll get 10% off. And if you purchase before the end, well, let's say midnight Hawaii time on February 14th, Valentine's Day, you'll get entered into the monthly giveaway that I do on this channel every month. I am allowed to give away 2 bottles of C60 Evo caps, my favorite product, which they graciously sponsored for me to give away. And so you'll be entered into that giveaway, random selection as well. So you are free, everyone. Here's to your heart, and here's to basically keeping an open heart. So protect yours, be well, and enjoy your holiday. You are free.